Aloha everyone and welcome back. This is Marissa Indigo of Divine DNA Blueprint Mystery School. I'm just so excited to share the developments kind of in the moment here. What's been going on with these wonderful energies and opportunities that have been presenting for us all this November and kind of tie all of that in to this energy report for the month, if you will. Huge theme of transformation and opportunities. You're going to hear me say opportunities quite a bit. That came through a lot because it's important for us while we go through a lot of deep work, and there may be a lot of heavy energy with a lot of things right now, to consistently remind ourselves and to bring our point of focus back to all the opportunities. And that's kind of that mirror dimension of the 11, those two parallel lines, those two columns that are mirroring each other. So it is very much as above, so below. Very much, okay, yes, we're going to go through some heavy lifting. And also on the flip side of that, the polar opposite of that, there's a lot of incredible miracles, opportunities, realm shift potential here that could just shift on a dime. And so we want to remain open and soft. So a huge theme of transformation and the opportunities that are coming in for us continually now to deprogram ourselves. And the invitation is allow it to happen. A lot of these transformative themes are not necessarily topics that are alive and present that we're actively working with, although they can be goals that we've always wanted, like feeling less stressed or to feel more fulfilled by life, different dreams that we have had in our consciousness, but also some invitations start to come forth from deep within where there was a lot of repressed energy, emotion, memories. And so with this kind of mirroring element that we see in the month of November, these invitations start to come forth, sometimes out of the blue, seemingly. Like, hey, do you want to change that? Do you want to let go of this? You ready to surrender this? Do you want to embrace this component? And then simplify your being, opening to more of these amazing opportunities. So that word opportunities keeps coming through, opportunities to shift. And we're now really starting to see in a more visceral, tangible, physicalized way the realm shift. And it's happening through us in our own individuation of this experience. It's happening collectively. The realm shift is happening through us. So this month of November and the energy report, this kind of quantum consciousness navigation vortex that we're in right now is really about the mirroring quality of inner to outer, outer to inner, and the realm shift. And so I just want to share, if anyone out there is experiencing fear coming up right now, fear of change, fear of what we're seeing out there in the world, experiencing distrust, even fear or distrust of change itself, of the process itself, and how we are going to do it. What is it going to do to us? How are we going to change? Lots of questions. There's a lot of incredible disentangling happening right now from a lot of programming. So just know there's a massive deprogramming process going on right now, and it can certainly bring up fear whenever we have something new coming in that automatically can bring up some fear. But ultimately, all of this is an opportunity to practice, to discover, to explore, and find greater trust in ourselves and in the yearnings of the heart and the soul, the desires that are coming through right now, the dreams that are coming through. Also, the inklings, the invitations, the soft callings that we're getting from on high, from the universe. So welcome to the energy report for November of 2023. And before we continue and go deeper in, I just want to share some upcoming events that I'm hosting this month. If you'd like to work with me and the energies further, on Wednesday, November 15th, I'm doing a live webinar on crystalline ancestral clearing and integration. And this is to bridge the gaps through our DNA by reconciling the schisms within our family lines, also looking at archetypal issues that many of us have, like the father wound, the mother wound. We can contribute greater peace and consciousness into the world to ease the realm shift for ourselves and for one another. So this is the ultimate crystalline grid work for the collective and for ourselves through our lineage, the past, the future, through our very own DNA. And on the 29th, we're doing a Halls of Amenti, a guided journey where I teach you how to explore your personal Akash. We were guided to wait until the 29th, which is another octave of the 11, to really be able to work fully this entire month in kind of a recapitulation of the 11 energies, the 22 energies, and to continue to deepen the eclipse lessons as well, how all of that comes into all of this. I'm very excited because I'm going to share what I've been shown and working with these last few years in the Oracle state about the halls of Amenti and how we can put ourselves in the center of these columns, these parallel columns at 11. And I'm going to show you what I've been shown about where it is and how to get there to this great hall. We're going to be working with the golden unicorns in this webinar. And they always show up in the darkest spaces when we've been working through really deep subconscious programming and separation and distortion from our highest self. And it's just so amazing to have these beautiful, majestic, pure beings, the golden unicorns, show up in our experience to invite us to continue to go deeper. So we're going to be working with parts of the brain and actually parts of the higher brain. And I'm going to demonstrate how to get to the halls of Amenti. We're going to be talking more about them, allowing the evolution of this concept of the sacred halls to evolve within us, and so that we start to each have more of a visceral connection. And when we talk about the halls of Amenti, what I've received, it is a great hall, a temple, to a massive library. It's an access point, an entry point to the Akashic records, and it can be for your own individual use and healing journey, awakening experience, going through your own individual Akashic records, getting a lot more information for yourself, memories, technologies from different timelines you've been in, innovative genius qualities, your own divine genius, discoveries and inventions, even more skill sets and abilities. So all kinds of amazing gifts that we've been accumulating across all the lifetimes that our soul has participated in. Each of us has a massive library, a catalog of references to work with for these times to bring forth. And so we're having this experience of all these lifetimes collapsing in this now to be resurfaced. So we've been shown that the halls of Amenti is actually a position in the brain. And then we enter in, and this kind of opens us to the quantum entanglement state of interconnectivity with all of creation. And so we build this frequency, we build this state together, and we enter in. And this can give us the portal of entry, walking down the halls through even more timelines, memories, all kinds of experiences starting to come up into the conscious awareness for us to work with, whether it's for integration, unifying something. Let's say it's a past life experience that the soul wants to integrate in this now, and it's kind of calling you towards that. So with this, it's all about the trauma and that it's no longer unconsciously affecting our conscious experience right now. It's all interconnected. This is a huge part of the 11 of November, the hall, the sacred hall, the halls of Amenti, the inner halls of your own being, the Akashic records, all within our grasp. And this is some of my favorite stuff to explore with what I've been working with for years now with my oracle work. So it's really exciting to reinvigorate these lifetimes and these gifts. And with this webinar, the goal is to show you how all of us have abilities to connect in, to plug in to the quantum consciousness and the Akashic. Everyone has sovereign access. So it's all about just learning how to build to that place. Both of these webinars are only $33 on New Earth One, and the links to register or learn more about what we're going to be covering is in the description box below. And I'm also opening up my schedule again for sessions. I had to really take some time away for my own process. So I am opening up for offering Akashic Oracle sessions this month for a variety of topics. It's really whatever you are drawn to have assistance with, but some of the keynotes are soul retrieval, embodiment processes of your aspects to feel more unified and whole, and develop quantum navigation strategies for your own personal or business development, relationship development, and evolution. And I also offer evolutionary astrology to show you how to work with the major planets in your life, these major themes, so that you can create a customized strategy and a more balanced strategy of health, abundance, and personal power. And one last thing before I forget, I am running a special through the end of the year. So until December 31st at midnight, I am offering 50% off all of my courses on the Divine DNA Blueprint Mystery School at the Thinkific platform. And this is to support you to prepare for 2024, 2025, and beyond with a lot of different subjects. So the coupon code is 2023 at checkout for 50% off. All right, so that's it for the self-promotion for the month. Let's get back to the information in the podcast. November has gifted many the deepest transformations of self, some of the deepest stuff we've ever seen right now, from within to without, releasing the fears of change, releasing fears of transformation. Who am I going to be? What's going to happen to me? Releasing fears of where we don't trust ourselves, and all about personal power. So where we are learning what pure power is. Many of us didn't have pure power modeled to us in our formative years, and even in society, even right now, we see abuses of power, and those are all distorted forms. It's not true power, because true power doesn't do abusive things or dominating kind of things, right? And so there's a lot of trust coming through here for us that we know better, right? We've been through a lot to learn. And so we're each having some wonderful glimpses of inner transformation and the potential we all hold for this. This month, there is the opportunity for creating an entirely new relationship with pure personal power and really witnessing what's arising with that. When we look at our personal power and any fear or apprehension we have, any mistrust, trusting ourselves and trusting our abilities now to do it in a balanced, healthy, divine fashion. And there's a lot of reservations that can come up with regards to our personal power and creating boundaries, perhaps caring more about how others are going to respond to it or feel about it than our needs to express it. So again, there's that 11, that bouncing back and forth, that kind of mirroring quality of what's inside of me, what's happening out there. How do I bring the balance between that ping-ponging back and forth there, right? So you may have reservations about personal power and learning how to wield it. And again, this can come from where we saw it not used with the highest awareness and integrity, whether it's family, society, government, stuff like that, or unconsciousness when you were little, maybe prone to outbursts, things like that. We didn't have the emotional regulation. We're trying to express ourselves, and then that could get shut down. So then we don't express ourselves at all. So there's a lot of finding the balance of what must be coming through to be authentic, right? And doing it in a way that is responsible and sacred and integrous. It has been so deep, you guys, with this Scorpio energy. And I have this visual that we're just digging through the archaeology of the psyche, of the soul. I've just been so excited to share this with you. And also with this deep work, sometimes we're going through some dark themes here. We're really going through a beautiful revelation of transformation. With all of this, we want to balance it, right? We want to have the mirror. Okay, so we have the heavy work and we want to have the light coming in as well to balance us so that we can continue, so that we can sustain, we can feel fresh and inspired. And so a gentle reminder here, while you're in this process, to continue to remember to soften your heart, your mind, and your body. To soften open, to trust, to call forth the divinely harmonious shift to be realized through you, to continue to be receptive, say yes to the magic and the alchemy that is going on. Because in truth, everything we have been asking for that's in our highest alignment is coming online now. We are learning how to make space for it. We are learning how to say yes to it, right? And to choose love over fear. So these things we've been asking for, visualizing, and so on, keep opening up to receive, to listen deeply, to breathe. And to trust all of this, because I'm telling you, the transformation is real. This new moon coming up on Monday the 13th also is going to continue to go even deeper into this process. And as I'm recording this right now on Friday the 10th, we're beginning a balsamic moon phase. This is the dark moon phase right before the new moon energies. And this is my favorite time to really clear and purge, have a burn bowl, a burn release ritual. This is the most potent time to weed the garden of your mind and your heart and your energy. So it's been so intense and also so beautiful. And I've just been looking forward to finally going through my own process and now being able to verbalize what I see, what's happening, what I'm talking about with other people. And it's this incredible transformation that we have been waiting for, coming into our authenticity. And we're just completely transforming ourselves. And I was remembering a lot of times I would hear, Judith Kusel, I just love her work so much. And she has said consistently through the years, oh, just watch, in 6 months, you're not going to recognize yourself. And when we're actually in the process of the catharsis and the transformation and this like regurgitation of all this old stuff, it can be very challenging because the linear mind can only reference the past. And so it could be taking it to the extreme, trying to visualize the changes, like, oh, I'm not even going to look like myself and no one's going to recognize me and I'm going to lose everything and everyone, the mind is trying to figure this out and it really can't, right? And so this is where, again, we come into the heart and just breathing and listening deeply and trusting the process and just receiving the input, receiving the guidance guidance to take the action, because the linear mind goes through these shamanic death experiences and freaks out, right? Ego deaths, right? And so we don't want to be looping. It's just let it dissolve, let it all decompress. When the mind goes to those places, it really helps to say maybe, maybe not. And that kind of neutralizes that, to help you come back to center. Ultimately, this is all about inner transformation. And we are going to be different, but it's not in a negative way. We already were in the negative way when we had less awareness, less of an understanding. It's important to know that collectively on a global scale right now, all of us are releasing a lot of deeply held unconscious trauma with regards to distorted power dynamics. And this is a great piece as to why at first there can definitely be fear and needing to build trust with this divine birthright that we are now coming into. When we have that sense of true power, there is no abuse. True power comes from true love, the true threefold flame of pure wisdom, pure love, pure power, and we're not abusive. When you have true power and a sense of self and that love within yourself, there's no need to pretend and kind of dominate and act out, right? So you see how different parts of the world right now are exploring this topic right now in some of the most destructive ways that we can see, right? And this is all part of that Plutonian energy. There is a tower moment. There is a deconstruction for reconstruction. So different pockets of consciousness are going to be experiencing this in different ways. We see it. And so right now, it's just this really incredible to observe within ourselves and the collectives at large, just really amazing detangling from childhood trauma, historical trauma, ancestral clearing, and observations of things like this, even throughout history. So you look at someone like Hitler, someone that was so disempowered, and he had a lot of dark aspects with his Pluto, right? His Pluto was very much in shadow. There's a lot of repression, right? So that's an extreme example of someone who didn't do the work, right? And so me, myself, I've been on this amazing deep dive with Pluto. And some of the phrases I was hearing is this, the solar Plutonian, we're bringing the light into the deeper aspects of the psyche, of the subconscious fears and traumas. And it's been fucking amazing. So I've been so excited to come on now that I can verbalize this and share and just tell you how all of this is just an anchoring. And how do we keep clearing this? Well, it comes back to the trust piece. So you have to come back to your frame of reference and come back to who you know to be. We can trust the universe. We have to remember that. The universe is a loving and benevolent universe because that's what we call in. It's why we came here. We came here to see through the illusion, to come into contact and build an intimate relationship as a master being here to what is available behind the scenes and all around us. When we grow our vision, our hearts beyond the 3D movie, that's why we came here. And so this is the ultimate opportunity now to receive what you put out and to trust what's coming. And you'll know by the feeling if it's real or not. It's a very Plutonian time. With the new moon on the 13th, it's a new moon in Scorpio, and it is very Scorpio now. This whole last week of the month of November, very, very Scorpio, very Plutonian. So there's a lot of shining our light, feeling the power of our light and our love, no longer being afraid of it, no longer being afraid of ourselves and expressing our higher selves more often, our true capability. So many of the masters, the stories, they say, oh yeah, when your dreams come knocking at your door, that's what scares us the most, right? And so we want to remain open, soft with ourselves and our emotional process, and remain open for more. You want to remain open and soft to the miracles. There are amazing opportunities. There is the opportunity for miracle healing for our health, shifts in finances, connections, opportunities, networking, finding more of our tribe, really building these deep, powerful relationships with others that are so loving and kind and supportive. And so you want to start to embrace your power and your magnetism and the support systems that are here. You want to start to trust it. So the huge overarching energetic of this month is the 11. And for me, the 11 is all about parallel realities. Infinite potentials, infinite possibilities. Like I talk about that hall, the great hall of Amenti. You are standing at the entrance of this great hall and the columns go on into infinity before you. The journey is laid out before you. And I made some beautiful images here to kind of activate putting yourself in that temple of the parallels, seeing where you are, where you want to go. And so it's like these halls of Amenti, these deep inner temples that go beyond space-time, these portals, and we are in the great hall of ourself, of our beingness, with our soul essence. So these parallel lines, the mirrorverse. So it's huge. This is huge. Everything we went through in October, so much of the death, rebirth, releasing the ego death stuff, really claiming who we are, letting the rest just fall away, allowing that It's like when you're in the garden, you're composting, right? And that compost becomes a fertilizer for the new growth. And it's just such an incredible opportunity. So we're reviewing all the things that we said, this isn't who I am anymore, this is who I am now. Oh, so a simplification, a greater clarification of our being with all of that shamanic death, ego death kind of stuff from October takes us into this frequency now of the 11, the mirror. So we're going even deeper, because once we have done the work to allow ourselves to see ourselves in the mirror, then deeper work begins, right? That's when we go even deeper into the Christed light within, the soul essence within. And so now it's the opportunity to work so deeply with our subconscious and the programming, deep ancestral family programming. It's just the most incredible opportunity. And so this November is all about the greater concept of self, where I am in my trajectory, in my process, in this journey of consciousness navigation, this quantum experience. We're starting to see, where am I? Who am I in this realm shift? And then getting more of a trajectory, deeper pieces, deeper layers coming on. And so it does continue to get more wild as everything destabilizes to rebuild. We ask ourselves, where am I on the coordinate plane with all of this happening all around me? And that's what brings us to the 11. And this is up to your own discernment. So I invite you to look for the patterns, right? Because this is not always literal. It's not always 100% applicable. We're talking about the mirror verse and what is mirroring in my immediate life, and what are the patterns. So you want to look for the patterns or the recurrent annoyances and grievances that keep digging at you and keep getting under your skin. The repetitive experiences are the mirror verse trying to show you, hey, you've got this little thing, you want to rearrange that, right? Not the one-offs, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Whether it's finances, the financial flow, abundance, your connection to abundance and money, what are your belief systems around it? That's one example. Relationships. What is the emotional tie, the mindset, really going deeply with the mindset, and what is being reflected to us in our relationships. So really looking at, well, how do you treat people? How do they treat you? Are you finding balance or imbalance in your relationships? And that relationship theme is huge because it's not only with other people or professional, personal, it's also time, things like we talk about your body, your relationship to yourself. What are you giving yourself? Are you making time for yourself? So we want to really dig in here with this, using this mirror verse quality, and make space to receive more of the new and true. And the mirror verse can really assist us because you start to see, like, man, this is really bothering me. I really don't like this. I keep seeing this. This is, really starting to get under my skin here. I don't like that. And these are the ways, when it's repetitive like this, that we're being shown what's going on deep within the subconscious. It's getting mirrored in our external world so we can see it. It's the only way we're going to see it, right? Because it's so deeply within. So this is the beauty and the perfection of living a conscious quantum experience. Everything that you need to know will be put in front of your face. And depending on how deeply ingrained it is, it can take a while of being annoyed by something or bugged by something or just really getting angry by something until you're like, oh, this keeps happening. So where is that inside of me? That's active within me. I keep magnetizing it, right? So again, I just want to reiterate that it's when we have these repetitive experiences of this where it starts to really bug you, that is the mirror verse versus just one random event, right? That's really could be more about the other person or the other situation. So it's the only way we're going to be able to see this, to do the work. It's reflected so we can see it, because our eyes and our faces face forward, right? Outwards, we need some support to dive deep within, to fold it all back and dive within the self. So if you imagine, if you have ever held two mirrors together facing each other, then it creates an infinite hall of mirrors, infinite worlds, infinite possibilities. And that's that 11. So another aspect of this 11 is the glimpses of infinite potentials and timeline bleed throughs. While we're seeing what we don't resonate with, we're simultaneously seeing what we do have a soul resonance with. And then we're going to call that in to replace the old, right? So it's release and call in, release and call in. So this is a lot of rewiring and updating the circuits. And so this is that mirror verse component that's working with this reflective energy so that we can really see, where is there more inside? And there always is. That's the thing we got to get used to. It's not about being perfect. We're never going to be done. However, it gets easier and more fun, more adventuresome. It gets very rapid and expedited. And so when you need to take take a break, take a break. It's always going to be there, right? Anywhere that we are just really having a hard time, for instance, let's say with any of the ugliness that we're seeing outside right now, there's a lot of polarity right now. Any of the battles, the extremism, all of these slogans asking us, take a side, pick a side, all of these. We want to look and say, well, where do I have that inside? Because it's all programming. We all have the programming. It's part of being on Time Ship Earth, right? And we can go deeper and deeper and deeper with this and use the investigative quality of the Scorpio energy. At the same time, broadcasts call forth, welcome in the harmony, the balance, the love, the kindness, the higher octaves of your experience as you define them. What would you like to see more of? What would you like to cultivate more of, right? What do you want to plant in your garden? So we have the most amazing abilities right now with this Scorpio energy, the detective, the shaman, the soul seeker, the lamplighter energies available right now to do the deep work, a deep scraping and clearing. And I love that the lamplighter has been coming through again. It always comes through this time of year when we're kind of in the darker energies doing a lot of deep cleaning and clearing. This is part of winter, right? This is what we do. Autumn and winter, the old growth falls away to make room for the new. And we are the lamplighters. We light our lamps. We help support each other to light our lamps, to keep them lit, keep that fuel source of divine truth and inspiration flowing, actively being open to it, seeking it, calling for it. Keep nourishing yourself while we go through these really deep processes. And that's like the halls of Amenti as well. So I hope that this has been supportive to kind of give you a glimpse of the magnitude, to validate what you've been going through at this time. There's so much potential. And yes, there's a lot of heavy energy too. And we are learning how to balance the beautiful with the not so beautiful. We have to learn how to navigate through a lot of earth and water right now. Those are the main elements that are present right now. And so you think about the emotion, the water flowing. Let the waters flow, right? Let it flow through you, up and through and out, down and through and out, letting the tears flow, watching how the water always flows, and it flows downhill, right? And it's very powerful. It carves. Look at the Grand Canyon and all of the different amazing glacial carvings that we have on the planet. We have that water element, then we have the earth element to stabilize ourselves, to also become the mountain. And also you think about digging so deep, burrowing, tunneling deep into the canals and the caverns, the deep inner earth caves, that data mining of the gems that are within us. And so we do go into the dark places. This is part of that Scorpio energy. And to further assist you with this process of really assimilating shadow, I've channeled this beautiful activation, working with a very powerful shamanic ally who calls herself the Dark Mermaid. And I've been working with her personally for a few years. She came to me when I was doing some movement therapy to assist really learning how to be present when I'm at the rock bottom, if you will, when we get to those places every once in a while. She is an amazing guide to support us in bringing through the light, bringing the light into the darkness within, to illuminate and embrace our shadow so that we no longer fear the darkness or think of it as some scary and bad place or something evil, because it's not any of those things. It's really important that we start to work with our unconscious, our subconscious, and no longer label them. There are social programs, religious programs put in place, right, eons ago to keep us small, fearful, and controllable. And some of these are, putting judgment on ourselves and our flaws, right? Or the unconscious or the pain, or thinking that we're evil and therefore avoiding all of this. And it's time to see through the lies. This is part of taking our power. We must decompress all of this to fully know ourselves. And this is such a crucial step to becoming unified, integrated, and claiming our pure power, especially if we fear it, right? Our inner darkness just means where the light is not shining in our own subconscious. It's the stuff that we repress and unconsciously give our power away to, which can actually cause self-sabotage too, and addiction. The Dark Mermaid is a keeper of the soul alchemy journey keys, and she is here to show us these aspects so we do not carry them around anymore. It's really important for us to know that we are gifted the opportunity to free ourselves of the bonds of baggage. And so this is an amazing journey, a guided journey for you to work through any despair or any of the energies of when we call it rock bottom, bottom, or sometimes we might call these experiences the dark night of the soul. Just whatever you're going through, where you could use some deeper shamanic support to be with what is arising without judgment, and to just be in a safe and loving environment of support, to allow yourself to feel these feelings and to honor them. It's very important that we allow ourselves to feel rather than avoid, because when we feel we're no longer carrying around so much baggage, it's very important that we allow ourselves to feel and process and then release and transform rather than avoid, because then we're stuffing and we're carrying around this baggage and it's actually controlling our lives. And we came here for mastery, right? Not to let some story continue to control and limit our abilities. So we want to have a safe opportunity to allow it to rise. So look for that activation. It's going to be coming out in a few days. I'm working on the audio and the sound effects for that right now. And I just wish you all the most amazing 11/11 portal to come this weekend. And just know that it's going to continue throughout the month. On the 11/11, I will release here a powerful activation that I channeled with the Syrians earlier in the year to activate your divine architect codes. And just know that we're all going to experience another expansion or intensification or up level of these energies as we continue through the month. So we have the 11, we have the 22nd. And if you want to join either of the webinars with me live on the 15th and the 29th, the details are in the description box here. Wishing you all an amazing month of personal transformation and joy, feeling that empowerment, feeling proud of yourself, proud of how far you've come, just really a sense of liberation, of lightness through this, and pure power. And may the cosmic grace continue to touch all of our lives. Keep trusting yourself, loving yourself. Just know it's not about being perfect. You are allowed to make mistakes. That's how we learn. That's part of being a master. It's all about trusting yourself, that you have all of the resources within to navigate through this. And anywhere that you need further assistance, you're going to have that inkling to ask for more help. Let me call this person. You know what? I think I want to go see a therapist about this, or a shamanic practitioner, or even I'm available here for the quantum soul sessions where we do this kind of deep soul work, the soul level embodiment work. Another wonderful technique that I highly recommend: find an NLP practitioner, find a hypnotherapist, someone that's skilled to go deep into the subconscious with you. This is the time. So be sure to ask for support. Gift yourself that support. Invest in yourself. Invest in your soul and your journey. I look forward to hearing how it's all going for you. And if you have any questions on this, please put them in the comments so we can expand on topics. That's really helpful when you ask questions about stuff, and then I can make a video and respond more about it. So thank you so much for tuning in. Wishing you a beautiful, deep, powerful experience of transformation. We got this. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. So much love.